Hey there dudes, hey there guys, folks, what's up? I hope you guys are enjoying and having a very fulfilling and enjoyable year 2019. So I've already begun to put my plans into a bit of a more actions and not just simply planning to make plans, to get things done. So first of all, today's video will be about an advanced trip planning to regional Japan, in Hokkaido in particular. So please allow me to show you a bit of the platforms for my workflow controls and administrations as well as management. So let's see. So you see here I have created and allocated myself a task named make a YouTube video titled Advanced Trip Planning Regional Japan Hokkaido. So and I also pretty much specified what specifically I must include for today's videos in regards to in regards to advanced trip planning to regional Japan in Hokkaido. So I plan to detail how to find local events, gatherings, parties, people to meet, and how specifically to plan your budget, your expenses, and what types of accommodation you have to choose in order to make your journey more pleasant and more comfy. And yes, there's another thing which will be about you see here. You can see it here: route planning and commuting, selecting accommodations while taking laundries, proximity to taking laundries and proximity to restaurants, venues of events, etc. into considerations. So perhaps most of you guys tend to use Google Maps as as one of the most reliable and accurate online tools to conduct some planning beforehand. Well, in fact, I am no different. I also use Google Map a lot, quite frequently, to find points of interest, to pinpoint where specifically I will be paying a visit to before I take any sort of real actions to make that happen. So please allow me to show you how I am playing with Google Maps so far. So let's see. So I am planning that once I reach Japan, I'll be first of all flying from a major Chinese city to a major city in Japan, such as Osaka, such as Kitakyushu, such as Nagoya, such as Tokyo. I still haven't decided which route will make my journey most pleasant. But instead, I simply planned far to kind of a bit far to ahead of the actual schedule that was supposed than what's supposed to to be planned. So yes, but first of all, before I jump to Hokkaido straight ahead, I suppose it will pretty much squander my entire trip to Japan if I hadn't paid a visit to Aomori first, and and tried to experience the underground tunnels, which a bullet train, through which a bullet train passes. So yes, so I suppose Aomori will be the first stop of mine. Once I reached, will be the first stop, but my last stop in Honshu, Japan, right before I go ahead. I move forward to I move northwards to Hokkaido. So yeah. So once you reached Aomori, let's assume that once I reach Aomori, I will be searching for some sort, somewhere to stay for several nights or several days. I will first of all, of course, consider somewhere, more, somewhere cheaper, not just cheaper, but more cost effective. That will make the most of my money, that will make the most of my my time I have left to spend in Japan. So yes, so I do, yes, so I do, I would like to, yes, I would like to apply for a 3-year or for at least 3 years or 5 years multiple entry visa. So that should leave me plenty of time to make plans and to experiment with the plans and the prototype projects I have on mind. So yeah, it sounds pretty sweet, I have to admit. It sounds pretty feasible at first glance and at first sight. So yeah, so far I have shared a remote a remote accommodation facility in a small town called Toyotomicho, named more specifically named Yadogari House. It's here, as you can see. Yes, I'm not sure if it the offer to stay there for at least 2 weeks or 15 days or 1 fortnight. I'm not sure if such offer still stands until now. So I'm just gonna have to double check if such offer still stands. So let's see. Does that offer still stands? Actually, yes. So you just need to pay 3,300 yen for 15 days of consecutive stays. So it still remains unchanged. Such offer still stands, which will be such a delight and such a delight and a relief at the same time. That sounds great. But yes, when it comes to when it comes to planning your trips, it pretty much also it pretty much also starts to remind you of of things that occurred to you in the past. It will make you rethink and reconsider of your past mistakes and the setbacks, the failures you encountered, and those will serve those failures, those setbacks will serve as lessons to further energize and motivate you in order that you will not repeat the failures, the mistakes, the setbacks you tend to drag yourself into while you were while you were younger, while you were a bit of a more naive, more naive and innocent. Yeah, I mention this because I used to be like that, and I still quite I still to a large extent, or to a very large, to a somewhat large extent and degree, I still believe I haven't become that rational and mature until this point, which means I will also be making a lot of mistakes, even for this trip. But I must, not just I myself, but you guys also must stand ready and poised for future challenges, for the future mistakes and setbacks you just have to encounter and drag yourself into, because you will not learn anything if you don't take any actions, if you don't make any plans to take any more actions. Yes. So pretty much, while you plan a trip, while you plan your trip, it will also carry the same meaning as planning, your life, a short or a period of duration of your life. You plan to spend in a specific, in a particular country, or in a particular city, or at a very at a certain place, or a village, or a small place, whichever you choose to to stay, or whatever country you choose to reside in, as some sort of a short duration of migration, So yeah. So what else have I overlooked? Have I forgot to mention? Perhaps yes. How to find local events. I'd say one of the most quickest and the cheapest way to to find out more about local events that are about to take place in that particular city. You just need to contact your acquaintances, your friends, who actually resides in that particular city. Or you may also choose to contact your acquaintances or your friends who have recently paid their visit. That's my that's pretty much my plan and my thoughts about how to get the most accurate and the most specific information from a particular groups of person, or from a particular source of information. But well, still you can't just plan to make plans, as I have mentioned previously. So yes. So let's see if this route can work on Google Maps. Just let me give it a try. Hang on, it appears my VPN just ceased to function. therefore it's not loading anything. Let's see. It's just frustrating. Jesus. Directions function. Yeah. Please allow me to pause the video. Okay, I just managed to recover the VPN app from malfunctioning, and now it's working as it should. So yes, let's resume our advanced planning for trip to regional Japan in Hokkaido. So I was just about to figure out the specific routes to the Yadogao house located in Toyocho Micho. Let's see if we can plan that from which city. Please excuse me for a bit of time to load this because I have a shitty internet connection. Yes, I do plan to. Let's say, how do we plan the route from Yadoga house? Let's say to the nearest major city. Yes, it should be Wakanai. Yes, Wakanai. So that should, if taken by GR line, it should take you like an hour and 9 minutes. But it still pretty much largely depends on the circumstances of local traffic and the weather conditions, of course. If the weather conditions suddenly turns foul and turbulent, or that might just affect our entire schedule in Hokkaido. So yes, but yes, and yes, there's one more thing I also like to mention, is that perhaps we better abstain from taking from taking long journeys or trips on the commutes, on the train, on any sort of vehicles for more than an hour, because it will exhaust you. It will render the trip, the entire, the parts of the journey, if not the entire process of the entire journey, quite unpleasant. So we best abstain from taking, from spending too much time on the train and on cars, on other sorts of vehicles. So should you want to make your journey more comfy, more pleasant, that's that definitely falls within the range of don't do's, and I firmly believe that it pretty much applies to all places, to all countries in the world, no matter where you plan to visit, where you choose to pay a visit to. So yeah. And what else? Now regarding how to plan the amount of money you will have to spend on accommodations, on places to stay. Let's see. In fact, last night I did a bit of a research on AirPub, or on similar web pages, and I tried some. As soon as I type in Wakanai, it did pops out with some some sort of facilities to stay. So let's see. Let's do a double check again. Let's say if I were to stay in Wakanda for around like 3 to 5 days. Let's assume yes I do. Let's assume that I arrive in Wakanda on the 5th of February until the 8th until the 9th of February. So that means 5 days, and one guest, one adult. That's for sure. Let's see. No result. That can't be. One guest. Maybe I just have to play a bit with the. Let's just type in any number, any date. No result still. You can't be kidding. That kind of complicates things, I have to admit. Jesus, more filters. English, Nihongo. That really complicates things, I have to say. Let's assume January, the last day of January year 2019, until the last day of February year 2019. Do we have anything here? No. That's just frustrating, because last night I checked, there was something, there were something, but never mind. That's the idea. That's the idea I gave you. Hope it can prove somewhat useful, or at least give you a bit of information, give you a bit of a crucial information before you do anything rash. So I thank you again for taking the time watching and listening to my videos. And yes, the planning, the scheduling will not end here, because I still haven't actually addressed the key sorts of items, key information I planned to address and to analyze and to present in front of you guys. So, but yes, due to the time constraints, due to my my limited amount, due to my scarcity in the resources I have on hand, so I have to end the recording until this point. So yes, thank you again for watching and listening. I am Francis Undead, and I shall see you on the next video on YouTube. Stay tuned, stay blessed, and stay faithful. You have a great day, or a great night, or a great time, wherever you are staying, wherever you are planning and choosing to pay a visit to. Cheers, bye bye.